Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Emma and you're at Crime Stories Obsessed. How is everybody tonight? Can you all hear me okay? I hope you can. Can you hear me all right, everybody? Yes? Brilliant. Right, so tonight, hi Steve, hi Candace, hi Vibes, hi everybody that's here. Thank you for tuning in and supporting the channel. So we've got a lot to get through tonight. So far, we're going to be talking about the Kiely Rodni, I keep calling her Kiely Rodni case from Prosser Campground in California. She's a 16-year-old that's missing, still missing. We've got the couple that went missing. They have been found now, but we'll go over that. So that's Janette and Juan, girlfriend. Well, I think they're exes, aren't they? Went together as friends to this night out. A little bit on Summer Wells, and then we've got another two other little cases just to talk about. So how is everybody? I'm okay. Bit of a bad day yesterday, but we're getting there. Today, better. Oh, I like it when you tell me where you're all from. It makes me feel so far away though. In this, it's been quite warm here today though, to be honest. It's been quite warm. Okay, guys. So as you know, I don't do many of these lives. So I'm here, but I did need a drink before I came on. I am a nervous person. Anyway, so we're going to be going over this Kiely. If I keep calling her Kiely, you'll have to excuse me. I've not covered it yet on this channel. I have been following it, and as to the best of my ability, especially on Facebook as well. And I think it's just the way it's spelled. It just makes me want to say Kiely, even though her name is Kylie. So if I do say Kiely, you know who I'm talking about. I know who I'm talking about. I just keep slipping up. So Kylie, she's a 16-year-old for people who don't know, and she lived over in Truckee near I think it's a place in Tahoe, and that's in California. So for anybody who doesn't know, she asks her mum if she can go to this party. It's on the 6th of August, so the other week. It's like a graduation kind of farewell party, and it's apparently not being run by any adults. It's the kids that have organized it. It's on a campground, kind of almost on what looks like a bit of an island, and it's in the middle of nowhere. So they've got this party going. Whether there was music, I'm guessing there was, and apparently there was quite a lot of drink going, and God knows what else going on. We've heard all sorts of stories about there being up to 300 people there, even though, you know, we've been told that 300 weren't graduating, and they think that these people have come in from other areas such as, you know, Reno and Sacramento and all these different places. So Kylie goes to this party. She's asked her mum. Her mum says yeah. And she goes with this black top on with like the thin straps, spaghetti straps. It's kind of like a bodysuit that you do up underneath. She's got these apparently like dicky trousers on, and then a belt, and that's it. She goes to this party. She's supposedly supposed to be home, and she messages her mum and says, look, I think this was about 11:15, and she says, can I have an extra half an hour? So taking into consideration travel time and everything, mum was saying that she should have been home around 12:45. I think that's right, is it? Or have I got that around my arse? Anyway, so she doesn't turn up home. Of course, mum then falls asleep because she's like, well, you know, she's messaged me. I know she's going to be home soon. Falls back to sleep again. Wakes up in the morning, realizes her daughter's gone. what happened at the party. Lots of questions have been asked. There's a lot of kids that are supposedly supposed to have been there that night. Her phone pings at 12:33 a.m. So it'll be 12:33 a.m. By the water's edge. So I don't know if that's where a car was parked. She had a silver Honda. I should get these photos out, really, shouldn't I? Instead of just talking to you. Guys, if you send me any super chats and I completely do not acknowledge them, Candice, can you just send me a message or something in here? Just keep getting my attention, because I don't want to, be rude to anybody. So let me just go back up here, because when I'm in photos, I can't always see. So, so she's missing and she never came back from this party. Okay, so she goes to this party with, let me show you a picture. Now, these aren't going to be the best photos, they're not very big, but if you see the girl there, the blonde girl in the middle with like the kind of curly-ish blonde hair, and she's got a hand on her chin, the one in the middle drinking the Coke. She's the one that Kiely went with to the party, to this outdoor event. There's Kiely there on the right, far right-hand side. That's her in the white and pink top. Okay. So they're supposedly best friends, those two. Kiely and her friend in the middle, Max. They're supposedly best friends. So I think they do a lot together. Then you've got this other girl called Kate. Kate's the one at the front. Your head's cut off there, but that's apparently Kate there, I think. And this was from her Instagram page. And so they have gone to this party together. However, within about 10 minutes of getting to this party, the girl in the middle, Mags, decides she's going off with her boyfriend, and off she goes, leaving Kiely on her own at this party, which seems a bit weird to me. Now, apparently, from what I've been told, they never had any intention of hanging around together anyway at this party. There was no intention of them going together for any particular reason anyway. They were just sharing a ride, because Mags was going to hang around with her friend when she got there. So why Kiely would go on her own? Like, there was no mention of her hanging around with anyone else other than this Sammy that I'll get to in a minute. But she hadn't organized to go with Sammy. So why she would just turn up knowing that her little best friend was going to go off with her boyfriend and disappear, and she was going to be all on her own at this party in the middle of nowhere, just seems really weird to me. I just can't get my head around that. I don't know about you guys. Yeah, she just looks miserable, doesn't she? True knowledge seeker. She just looks really miserable. This isn't the night of when all this happened. This is another time, but it's a photo of them together. And so Kiely and her best friend, the girl that she went to the party with, no intention of hanging around together that night, just went for the ride. So she's there, is Kiely, hanging around on her own until she finds someone else to hang around with. Weird. Okay. Look at this. This is no good, is it? Look at this photo. You can't even see their heads. It's chopped off. That's no good. Anyway. So this Kate here, she was the one at the front of the photo. You might have heard of her. Here's Kiely at the front, the girl that's missing. Very, very pretty girl. And her friend Kate. Now, they're close friends, but not as close as Mags. Apparently, she's very, very close friends with this Mag, whatever she calls herself. Okay. And Kiely's phone pings by the water at 12:33. So she texts her mom, and mom said she could have this extra half an hour. She's supposed to be home by about 12:45 after travel time. Doesn't make it home. Mum wakes up in the morning. Kiely's gone, and the phone, and the car, and literally everything. Not just her, you know, everything. She's apparently got an iPad in the back of the car, or some kind of device. That's gone. The car's gone. Her phone's gone. Everything. So of course the police then start looking into all this. They're like, right, we need to try and find her, obviously, first of all, but also we want to know where her car is, because that might give us some reason to consider where she could be. She could be in this car, whether it be, you know, we don't want to think about it, but at the bottom of this lake, or somebody's taken her somewhere. So, you know, it's a lot harder to hide a car than it is. Yeah, I can see you, Bob. No, I've not got you blocked. So it's a lot harder to hide a car than anything. So, you know, you would have thought that that would be there. So there was apparently in the news that she had this black hoodie, and there was question about whether she had it on or not, and it was this one with the Lana Del Rey on. But then the police said, no, we never said she actually had it on, we said it was in her possession. Then they talk about this white and pink hoodie, and of course at the time, I was like, there's got to be a photo of her in this white and pink hoodie. I won't go over it again, just too long. I'll just mention it really quickly. So I managed to find this photo of her in this white hoodie with the pink writing, because it's all over the news at this point. They're wanting to know if Kiely was wearing the hoodie that night with the pink writing on, and they're like, you know, could she possibly be wearing this? And so I managed to find this picture, and I'm like, here she is in it. But this picture is loaded to her friend's Instagram account. So if the friends know that the police are looking into whether or not Kiely was wearing this hoodie at any time, whether it was hers, what she looked like in it, you know, why wouldn't they say something? It just seemed a bit weird to me. Anyway, I did contact, for anybody who doesn't know, I got a message through from from somebody saying that Prosser County wanted to get in touch with me. It says there in the blue, can you get them to get in touch with me? And so I then DM'd them and sent them the photos with the dates on. And they were asking if they could message me. So that was that done. So I gave them those photos. But why, you know, a girl in the UK has to find these photos of, you know, it's just like, why didn't these girls hand these in? They've got them. They're their photos. Anyway, okay. So let me just move on, because I do have some new info for people who haven't been on Facebook as well. It's quite interesting. Right. So then we've got this Jagger. So we haven't mentioned Jagger yet. Jagger's well, first of all, we were told he was the boyfriend. They put it out on I think it was Fox News when they interviewed him. He was the boyfriend. He was upset, not visibly upset, but he was a bit quiet. You know, he was the boyfriend, and he messaged her that night, told her about his day. She then said to him, I'm sorry, you've had a bad day. I read that as, I'm sorry you're going through this, but we're not getting back together. That was just me doing this kind of work with all these crimes and things, probably looking a bit deeper into it than possibly needed to be. But, you know, that's what we do when we're covering these crimes. If we're doing the job properly, we have to look at every eventuality, every possibility, and not, you know, become friends with these people, stick up for these people and say, no, he's definitely not involved. No, you have to keep an open mind and look at all these people individually and say any of them could possibly be involved. So that's how I took that message to her. I was like, possibility, because then I heard they're not together anymore. So apparently they are exes, whether that's come from the family. I think Jagger even said that they were exes at one point as well. So now then there was a rumor going around that Jagger had dated Sammy. So let's bring Sammy up, because I don't even know if I've got a picture of Sammy up yet. So this is Sammy. Okay. So this is the girl that apparently organized some of this party. She was the one that went there and put the lights up, I think. She was probably the one that got the social media going with it all. As far as that's what I've been told anyway. So if you can hear my cat running around, he's got Call of the Wild in the background. So this is the girl that when Kiely went off and her best friend left her, this is who she hung around with all night. Okay. Sammy Smith. She hung around with her all night. According to Sammy, she was the last one to see her, the last one to message her. We'll get into that in a minute. But it's all very sus. If you listen to any of these YouTube channels, and they're not just copying each other, guys, there's plenty of red flags. You know, there's a lot of things she said, and I was going to get a clip for you from Ikmel's channel, but I didn't quite have time after putting all this together. But they interviewed her, and he was asking her questions, and there was a couple of times he asked her questions that she probably wasn't quite expecting, and there was a lot of and kind of everybody can have a silence, you know, you can go oh well, yeah, you know, that kind of silence, but these silences were too long. These gaps between answering these questions were too long for me. I just thought and I'll get into why I'm a bit worried about this one. And I'll tell you why. I'm going to show you some photos now that you might not have seen. Okay. Now it's really faint writing, so if you want to capture these for your channels or just for your own, you know, just screenshot them. But it basically says this is Kate Kuno. Okay, so this is, you know, there was a few friends. This is one of the friends. She didn't go to the party that night. Okay, let's get the first one up because I think it's this one down here. So Kate Kuno, she was messaged by somebody. Okay. Kate says, I was not at the party. Kiely, the girl that's gone missing, and Sammy, that she hung around with all night, were never really friends. Mags is her best friend. Kiely and I are close friends. So she's there confirming that, yes, she's close friends with Kiely, but it's Mags who is her best friend. She wasn't at the party, and Kiely and Sammy were never really friends. Why? Why were they never ever friends? Okay, so then she says, Sammy only took the lead. I think somebody must have asked her why she organised the party. And she said, Sammy only took the lead because she put the party together. Well, well, well. Did she organise for other substances to be readily available as well? Question mark. So this person said, oh, was it her party? Why do you think she left Kiely there? Is that normal? Because you all arranged to go home by yourselves. Yeah, you all arranged to go home by yourselves? Question mark. Or do you not find that odd? Kate's response to that is, yes, I also find that odd. So this girl says, really? So Kate says, yes, Sammy should not have left Kiely alone. Next one. Did Kiely hang out with Sammy often then? Because she said they'd become really close in the recent months. So confusing, right? Kate says, no, Sammy and Kiely never hung out. So I'll be interested to know what you think to that then, guys, because we've got Sammy putting together a party, apparently. This is what we've learnt from this. Sammy put the party together. So does that mean that she feels it's on her shoulders if anything goes wrong? My question. She also says that she hangs around with Kiely all night, which I don't know if I believe now, to be honest. Because this Sammy has said in interviews just recently that they'd grown really close in recent months. But Kate, who hung around with Kiely all the time, close friends, was making creme brulee with her that morning, said, no, Sammy and Kiely never hung out. Okay then, so wait a minute. They never hung out? So why did they just suddenly hang out that night? Don't believe it. Don't believe it at all. I don't think they hung out all that night at all. Not for a second. And I tell you what I do think. I think if she organised that party and she was the one that organised to get a few friends to ask a few friends to organise a bit of this and a bit of that, if you know what I'm saying, she would have been the one that would have felt responsible if anything would have happened to anyone at that party, especially someone she knew, even if she wasn't close to them. Joe, aka Prolific, rewind to the beginning of these screenshots and tell me what you think. Because I'm just showing you something that's a little bit new. Not everybody's seen it, but I certainly hadn't seen it. Let me just have a swig of this wine. I'm being so lazy, I couldn't even be bothered to go get a glass. I'm just swigging it. There's only about 2 inches in the bottom of the bottle, so I've decided just to swig it out the bottle. If Ryan Upchurch is in here tonight, I know he is subscribed to the channel. If he wants to come on and talk about Ronnie, if he's found anything else, anything new, the link should be tagged. If not, let me know. And if any of you want to come up and talk to me about any of this, also, any of you are welcome. I will limit it to probably maybe 1 or 2 at a time, just because the internet's not the best here and everything. But it should be pinned to the top of the chat. If not, let me know and I'll drop it again if anybody's interested. Just holler at me with a load of red hearts or something. Right. So what do you make of that then? They weren't even friends. Yeah. Yeah. I would take them all in. And to be honest with you, have you seen the photo of this party? Right. Let me see if I've got it here. Because I'm telling you now, from what I can see, there's not 300 people at that party. Far from it. I don't think there ever was that many people at that party. I'm just looking to see if I can find a picture of it, but I think I got rid of it. So, as it turns out, I don't know. There's something else that's been crossing my mind, and I don't know whether you'll agree with this or not. And I don't really know how to phrase it without coming across as rude. But on prom night a few weeks ago, Kiely didn't go in a fancy dress like all the others. Let me take this off the screen. Kiely went with a black shirt. She went in this prom night. Black trousers, black shirt, and she did have this on, was a little bit revealing. And then she had a shirt done up in all the photos I've seen. And with her, I know the heads have been cut off, but this is Kate, this is Sammy, and they've all gone with these pretty dresses on. Okay. Now I'm wondering, Because if you see the photo of Kylie with the black shirt and black trousers on, which seems, that's her choice, it made me wonder if she was at all bisexual, and maybe there was you know, something going on between jealousy between Sammy and Jagger, or I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there. Who knows? Who knows? Right. So what else have we mentioned? Because I've got plenty of red flags. So for anybody that hasn't seen, the car is a silver Honda. It's easy for you to find the reg if you just tap on Kiely Rodni. This is the car. And you can get it online as well. (2013) CRV. So if you have seen that, you do live out that area and you just happen to see, or you're traveling through and you see an abandoned silver CRV, please stop and just make sure there's no one in it and call the sheriff's office, because there is somebody missing. There is a young girl missing that does have this car, and they obviously, family need to find her. Chester, stop running round. Okay. Right. So, my God, there's so much. I have written down here, guys, so much. I don't even know where to start. So, let me get this picture of Sammy back up a second. If anybody wants to join me, I'll tell you what, I'll put the invite. I'll put the link back in the... You've got to be really multi-talented to do this, Mhm. Oh, yes. I must announce, do not touch the vehicle. They may need to take fingerprints off it. Just call the sheriff's office straight away, please. That is very important. Thank you for pointing that out. Getting carried away with myself here. So, where's the picture of Sammy? Here we go. Okay, so to me, when you watch her in these interviews, and I'm not going to start playing the interviews, I think anybody that's interested in this case has probably already seen them. She just looks too confident, and she just does not have any emotion for my liking. There's no emotion at all. Um, she's just too cocksure of herself, and I mean, I don't know what you think about that, whether you feel the same, but that's the first thing that stood out to me. Now, let's not forget that she's the one that organised this party. And I just keep going back to the fact that if anything had have happened, would she have been the one that felt responsible enough to have to do something to cover it up? Now, I've seen videos where Kylie's mom has got her arms draped all around Sammy, and it's like she's hugging on her, and that makes me feel physically sick, guys. I don't know how that makes you feel. Makes me feel physically sick, because I just think if you are involved, don't trust anyone. Like, if she is involved, I mean, for goodness sake, she organised a party that your daughter didn't come home from. She organised a party where your daughter took and drank probably a lot of stuff that wouldn't have done her any good. And you're hugging on her. She never came home. And this girl's far too confident for my liking. I mean, especially to say that she's never been in this situation before, has she? Um, we've already gone over the fact that there's just no photos anywhere. You can't get I mean, I class myself as a bit of a sleuth when it comes to searching for things. And I mean, I must have been through every friend of every friend of every friend in the whole school, and not one of them have posted a photo of that party. Not one. Why? I have friends, some have got Facebook, some have got Instagram, some have got Twitter, some have got this, that, the other. But not every single friend that I know all use Be Real. Not every single friend I know use Facebook. Not every single friend that know, that I maybe go to a reunion party with will all upload their photos to exactly the same social media platform. Doesn't make sense. Hmm. Yeah, I'm just reading this comment here where she doesn't want to jeopardize her chances of college. Yeah, I mean, who knows what she's planning on doing at college? Maybe she's using this as a way of showing them, look, I organized and planned and did all this. It's but gaining from somebody's, your friend, supposedly. That's the other thing. Why is she telling everybody that she was her friend? They've grown close together over the last however many months. When her other friends saying they never hung out. They didn't follow each other on social media. They never hung out together. Just makes no sense. So these searchers and law enforcement have been searching for Kiely since I think the 7th, which is when they were alerted to the fact that she was missing, and they have found nothing. I think they have gone past her route, tracked her route all the way from the party, from Prospect Campground to where her home is, and they have not found anything at the side of the road, no signs of any vehicles, disappearing off into any embankments. They have scoured the whole area, and I think it's like a 15-minute ride back to her house. I've seen photos of them with boats, searching the ponds and rivers and things around the area of where they went missing. Now, a lot of people were asking me what this was on my community page. It was a bit difficult to work out, but I was thinking at the beginning that this could be Jagger. Now, Jagger, the boyfriend, ex-boyfriend, whatever you want to call him, he said he never went to the party. But if you put the picture of the party side by side with Jagger, unless there's somebody that looks very much like him, which there could be. I had various comments saying, there's loads of people that age with the hair like that. And, yeah, okay, maybe there is. Um, but to me, I just thought that was something we needed to take into consideration. I don't know if it's because I'm online. I'm sat next to this computer, but I am so warm tonight. Like, I don't even know what temperature it is here, to be honest. Um, Yes, we've mentioned that about Sammy possibly diverting attention away from herself or this party. Now, I want to ask you guys, how much does it cost for some of that white powder? And I'm not going to say the name of it. How much do you reckon enough for one person would cost you? Does anybody know? Because I have no idea. $5, $10 for a small amount? That's a guess. Anybody know? Because Apparently, they were giving this out free. Oh, true knowledge seeker, yeah, that's all I've been to recently is COPD patients. It's the heat. 100 a gram. What? So it's quite expensive. It's not cheap. Okay. So I was nowhere near, right? Okay, so if this these drugs were going free and apparently this was what was going around, who was paying for it? Now I know Sammy's mum is a an attorney. I think it's a mum. Is it a mum that's the attorney and her dad's a I think. I was just interested to know who could have possibly have paid for all of this going around at the party. Were people bringing it in? Sammy was the one that organised it, but who was giving away free stuff when it's expensive? Okay. Now, who do you think made the call, or should I say text, because she didn't call, did she? When Kylie text her mum to say, could she extend her curfew by half an hour? She text. How convenient is that for her to text? No phone call, so we can't confirm whether it was actually Kylie that sent that from Kylie's phone. Because if Kylie had been laid there unconscious, they could have used face recognition, they could have used her finger to press the button if she had, fingerprint recognition on it, whatever was going on. But I'm interested to know who you think made that sent that text. I also want to know who else was in the car with her that night because according to was it Kylie? Oh, there was a few of them. They went back to the car to charge the phones. Well, she's got an old CRV. How many phones can you charge in one go? Who was in the car? Who were all these people? Sammy. Is that what people are saying in the chat? So we've got a few Sammys. Yeah, because Kylie would have known that her mum would have been sleeping. That's right. So who was in the car and who sent the message? Now, Kylie's phone last pinged, apparently, near the water's edge. Now, whether that was just where it picked it up from, as in, maybe it was a car that was just parked a bit, in the campground, but sometimes, it doesn't always pick up exactly, like when I get a parcel delivered, it'll say it's delivered and it'll be like showing 5 doors down. So whether it's just saying it was next to the water's edge, but I'm sure somebody said that they'd been sat chatting with Kylie next to the water, or was I dreaming? Maybe I was dreaming at that point. Um, I want to know why Jagger didn't attend this party. I'm interested to know why. Is it because they'd split up and he just didn't want to see her because he was too upset? Was it not his kind of thing? Hmm, I don't know. But I also don't understand why she sent her mum this message, apparently, and then she could disappear within 18 minutes. She'd spent all night at this party, but she disappears within like 18 minutes. And why would they were sat in the car. Sammy says, "Oh, can I have a lift, Kylie?" "Yeah, yeah, no problem," she says. Sammy gets out of the car, and within what? The space of about 20 minutes, she's decided that she's gonna get a lift with somebody else because Kylie's too intoxicated. But how does she know Kylie's intoxicated? She didn't go back to the car. That was the last time she'd seen her, so it doesn't make sense. None of this makes sense, and I don't know if Kylie's mum is blinded by the fact that Sammy is doing all this stuff, and putting herself in the forefront, and she's just such a good friend for wanting to help her friend, her daughter. Thank you, Sammy. Or is the mum really going home and thinking, I don't believe a word this Sammy's saying, but he's just not saying that in public? Because there's certain things that this Sammy has said that law enforcement have turned around and said were not true. All this, come to us, come to me, if you've got anything, you need to tell us. Not true. Jagger said that as well. What was the other thing she said? She said something else as well about the party, and they turned around and said that was not true as well. I think I've got a screenshot somewhere. Just there's too many red flags with Sammy, and this is my own personal opinion. Either a mother's blind of this, or she secretly is thinking exactly the same as us, but she's just not coming out and publicly saying it. Surely Max and Kate, the best friends of Kiely, have said to the mum, look, Kiely never hung around with this Sammy. I don't know why she's doing so much. I don't know why she's doing so much. She must be thinking the same as us, guys. Surely. Anyway. Okay, let's see what else I've got. So apparently, according to this Mags's sister, she said that Kiely has a very tight group of friends, which I noticed as well when I was going through the online, social media. There was really nobody else that had photos of Kiely apart from Mags and Jagger and Kate. That literally was it. That nobody else had photos of Kiely when in regards to friends. Sammy, as far as I know, didn't have photos of Kiely. And the things I have seen on Sammy's Facebook, or was it Instagram, were a bit concerning, to say the least. Anyway. So do you think there could have been some love triangle? Or do you think that it was an overdose and she thought, oh my God, I'm the one that's organized for this person to come and bring this, or this is my party, I feel responsible, and she's been involved in some kind of cover up? Like, what do you guys think? Let me have a look at some of these comments. I'm eating a chocolate while I'm reading. Let's see. And I was watching some I think you've probably seen it. I can't remember the name of it, but it's like where there's 3 friends and 2 of them do something to one of the friends, and it kind of gave me that vibe. Bob says he thinks it's a love triangle or hazing gone terribly wrong. I think it's an overdose cover-up, to be honest. I don't think it's a love triangle. Got quite a lot of photos here. Let's have a look, see if you've seen some of these. We'll go through them together. So, as I've shown you this was apparently prom night. This was what she was wearing, and this was on her friend Kate's social media. This was where I found the picture of the phone, which is next to her foot. And that's where I got that picture from to send into the sheriff's office so that they had a picture of her phone, because obviously it's a missing item. It was with her that night. It's no longer. And this was the sticker on the back of it. I figured it out eventually. And so, you know, it's a missing item at the end of the day. They've had the sweatshirt on the TV. They've had the car on the TV. They've had a photo of her on the TV, what she had on, but nobody's mentioned the phone. So that's why I had a look at that. Right, what's this? Okay, so that's her car. And then we've got Sammy. We've got Kiely wearing the sweatshirt. Mag's looking really unhappy, and Kate at the front. We've got a photo here of Jagger and Kiely when they were together. My messages to Prosser. And then, oh, so this is something I got off Jagger's site. Now it's dated in June, but you can actually see Kiely in it if you zoom in. But that's like that hot August nights thing in Reno. So Kate, that's a friend. And then Jagger posted this. I don't know if it was earlier today. It said, "This girl is my entire world. I need your help to bring her home. Please, there is no punishment. You will need," I guess he means with the substances, "you will get a 75K and a Hellcat. Whether you have her or you just know where she is, anything you know helps, please. I know you all would do it if it was someone you loved." And then we've got, oh, that's that. Let me just see what these are. Must be something I forgot to delete. Okay, so we've seen the messages. I'll show you again for people that have just come in. Okay, so Kate, the friend of Kiely, was speaking to somebody online via message, and Kate said, "I was not at the party. Kiely and Sammy were never really friends. Mags is her best friends," which we know. "Kiely and I are close friends," which we know. And then she says, "Sammy only took the lead because she put the party together." So this girl says, "Oh, so it was her party, question mark. Why do you think she left Kiely there? Is that normal? Because it seems a bit strange to just go home by yourselves." So she said, "Don't you think this is a bit odd?" So Kate says, "I also find that odd." So the girl says, "Really?" And Kate says, "Yeah, she shouldn't have left Kiely alone." I mean, hindsight's a great thing, isn't it? But And then this girl said, "Did Kylie hang out with Sammy often then? Because, Sammy has said that they have become really close in recent months." So this Kate Kuno turns around and says, "No, Sammy and Kylie never hung out." Mm. So there you go. What do you think? Mm. So that's most of what we've got really for this. I mean, we could go over a lot. This woman is obviously really upset. I could sit and play you all the interviews, but you've probably already seen them, and I don't like wasting people's time and just going over things that have already been gone over a million times. Um, the mum is obviously upset. She said basically in her interview that she woke up the next morning and found that Kylie wasn't there, wasn't home after she'd extended her curfew. Um, and sorry, I was just reading the chat then. And so she just wants her daughter home. It's now been what, 10, 11, 12 days, 13 days since she went missing. What do you think about the stepdad? Well, I saw the stepdad in an interview. He seemed okay. I think it was the stepdad. Um, or was it which one? Wait a minute. Let me just question. Which one's the one that's got the beard and kind of looks like, is a bit of an outdoorsy one? I don't know how to say that without being rude. Which is the one that's hairy? Is that I thought that was the real dad, or is that the stepdad? Does anybody know? Because there was an interview, but she was the only one. The mum was the only one that spoke in it. Oh, that's the stepdad. Yeah, I did think he was a bit odd. But I'm sure if the police thought that he might be involved, I mean, we do hear a lot about stepdads, don't we, being involved in these things, but I'm sure they're the first people that they will have had in. I'm sure. Hmm. So before we move on, because I am just about ready to move on in a second to the next case, does anybody want to come up and talk to me about this case? What they think about it, any of the red flags they've noticed, any of the things that they've learned on here tonight that you know, they didn't know, or Vibe says I'm new to this case. Yeah, there's plenty of it on Facebook. If you go on there, there's plenty of groups and things, people sharing stuff about it. Um, but I'll just put the link in the chat again. There you go. So if anybody wants to come up and talk to me about this, they can, or we'll move on to the next case, which is going to be Janette Pantoja, is it? And Juan Almanza Zavala. Is that right? Mhm. Yeah, and if you could all give me a thumbs up if you're enjoying this so far, that'd be great. Thank you. So this couple, they were missing. They have been found, but I thought I would touch on it. Oh, Roger Rabbit. It's the link. I've just put it in the description. If you just scroll a little bit further up, it's a StreamYard link. You might be able to see it. As far as I was aware, Kylie's 16. Can everybody just confirm that in the chat? I think Sammy is the one that's 18, as far as I'm aware, or a little bit older than Kiely, but as far as I'm aware, Kylie's 16. Okay, so let's get the next photo up. Oh. Can I call in on that link? Yeah, you just press on the StreamYard link that I had, and it will bring you straight here. Okay, so I'm just gonna, because I did have the photo up of this couple, but I must have taken it down for some reason. Oh. Hello?
Is this M?
Yes.
Well, it's Trophy Wife.
Hi.
How
Thank
are
you for
you?
joining. I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. I'm having you're having a little wine and chocolate.
I am actually a bit of wine and chocolate. It's needed, you know.
I love it. You deserve it, baby. I wish I had your accent.
Oh, thank you. I wish I had your accent. Shall we swap?
No, mine's awful. No, Hey, I just wondered if you have seen the TikTok videos of Sammy. It's something weird. She's got a hold of a friend's hair, like
Oh yeah.
holding the bun. You've
Yeah,
seen it?
Doug had it on. If you haven't
Yeah.
seen it, guys, I go over to Doug's channel. I think it was was it 2 days ago he posted it, or like 1 day ago? And yeah, it's Sammy doing a TikTok, and she's got this really evil kind of silly smile on her face, and she's holding this girl by her hair, and there's this creepy music as well at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it
Yeah.
also has the wording at the bottom that says, do you think, it says something to the effect of, do you think you could kill your best friend and get away with it?
No, never.
It does, I
I wonder
swear to
why
God.
everybody. Well, Molly Golightly was talking about it. Then Doug was talking about it, and I was like,
It's so
"What?"
bizarre. It's so bizarre.
Money Moves says that TikTok was debunked, but I don't know what she means,
Well,
because
there's
I
no
never
way to
saw that.
debunk a TikTok.
No, well, I never saw the writing at the bottom. I just was looking at what she was doing with a hand, and I was listening to the music, but I never saw her say, I never saw that written at the bottom, which that's why, because I was thinking, well, okay, she's holding this girl's hair and it's not great, but like, I never saw that bit. Otherwise, I would have been like, oh my
The
God.
wording. Maybe
That's,
that is domination. That is Mean Girls, Heather's, Bad Girls Club. That's what that shit is.
mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I completely agree. It's like, she's like the female Dawn Wells.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I said I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall when, after she, said, okay, everyone needs to drop their kid off and drive far, far away. And don't listen to what your kids are saying. They need to come to me. I know the FBI. I'm with this. I'm with that. And it's like, I want to be the one. I want to be in the room when somebody told her,
Yeah. Yeah. Can you imagine her mum's face when she saw that?
stop talking, you know.
God.
Oh,
I mean,
oh,
what do you think to the
God.
mum, Kylie's mum? Do you think she's secretly going home every night and thinking that Sammy is a lying biatch, or do you think she actually believes her and all this hugging
Yes.
on her and everything is real?
No. Nope. Because like people say now, like the caller or whatever that we received said she's not friends with Kiely, right? So, I mean, she's
Mm-hmm.
just hugging whoever wants to hug her, for God's sake, you know. And it
Mm.
frustrates me to hear about the stepfather because he's got hippie hair and a fucking beard. He ain't gonna do nothing. Those people are camping and loving on each other. They're a bunch of old.
Mm-hmm.
They're two old hippies. They have no. I mean, damn, their kid got taken away.
Yeah. What do you think to the fact that Sammy apparently organised this party? Kylie's friends are saying she was never close with her, but yet they hung around together all night. Do you think that was just? Do you think that's true, or do you think they hung around together because because Kylie didn't know anyone else there, or do you not believe that story? Like, what do you think
No,
about that?
I totally believe that story. I believe that Kiely, sadly enough, is the chosen one. The one that she was jealous of, the one that wore a suit to prom with some awesome lingerie. She looked like a freaking runway model. You
Yeah,
know what I
she
mean?
didn't
Like,
need to wear the dress, did she? She didn't need to wear
no,
the dress.
no, it was more of a fashion statement, I thought, than anything else. And her long, beautiful hair and pigtails and a suit, I thought, girl, you go. But I think I honestly believe this, that there's a thing, and it's Sammy's involved, and I don't believe that Kiely was ever good friends with her. I think she maybe have tried to warm up to Kiely. Hey, do you want to come to my house this weekend? And blah 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 blah. And I know Jagger, na na na, and this that and the other, because she was a senior. Granted, she was 16. She was an honorary senior, but they were not friends. They were not friends,
No, she didn't even follow her on Facebook
yep,
or anywhere.
right. It's just so wicked. I mean, there is a
And if
wickedness when I look at
and
Sammy.
if you look
I
at
don't know.
there is, and also if you look at any of these photos that I've got and any of the photos you find on Facebook, there will be pictures of her with Kate. There will be pictures of her with Kate and Jagger. There will be pictures of her. There will be pictures of this here. You can't really see, but this is Sammy and Kate. But you never see Sammy and Kylie in a photo together ever,
That's all right.
ever. This day out they went on. You've got Kylie, her best friend, there in the middle that looks miserable, and then Kate at the front.
Yep.
You know, there's never any pictures of her with this Sammy. So whether they didn't like each other, you mean three's a crowd usually. As I've always found anyway, three has always been a crowd for me. You know, there's always one that you're close to, and then the other one's kind of a bit left out. I just don't think that they were good friends. I mean, the friends, even in these messages that I have seen, this Kate is confirming that they were never friends.
Yeah.
You know, they were not close friends, and they never hung out together. So then
How
why
old was?
that night?
How old is Kate? Do we know?
Kate's the same age, as far as I'm aware. Oh no, wait a minute. I think Kylie and the Mags, I think they're the same age. They're like best friends. I think they did most things together. And then I think Sammy and Kate are a similar age, as far as I'm aware. And I think that's how Kiely met Sammy, through Kate. That's what I
Yeah.
was told. But I mean, like you
Yeah.
say, she's so pretty. And well, she's the prettiest out of all of them. And you know what girls are like? They can be
Yeah.
bitchy.
Oh yeah.
But
Yeah.
do
That
you
was
think,
that was the
go on.
setup, I think. I'm
You
so
think it
sorry. I think
do
it
you
was a
think it
setup.
was a setup? More of a setup than a cover up, because she was the one that organized the party and maybe got the people to come that had the,
I think when
no.
she came out and put her mouth on that microphone and said what she said about you need to come to me and you need to, da 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 da. Don't parents don't come. It was like, who does that? If you're going, I mean, if you're just covering up that it was you that had the party, then spread the word between all the people that were at the party. Hey, it wasn't me. Let's just say we don't know who did it. You know what I mean? But
Mhm.
this, she's coming out, she's putting herself out there and she's saying that. And that just absolutely seals the deal for me that there's something nefarious going on.
Yeah. And then when you watch the interview with that Ikmel, excuse me, the interview with Ikmel, and he asks some questions, and it's like she was preempting most of the questions he was going to ask, but then he asked her a couple of questions, and I don't think there were anything too out of the ordinary, but the delays in answering and the fumbling and stumbling over what she was going to say was just stood out to me so much.
Yeah.
Did you
Yes, I
notice it?
agree. Especially the part where she was like, I was sitting in the driver's seat and he was taking me home, or they were taking me home. I had a ride home. And it's like, why tell us you were sitting in the driver's seat? Because she almost slipped up and said she was driving.
Mm-hmm. Roger Rabbit's just asking, have they found anyone in this case? Have they found a body? No. No, I was just about to go on to another case when this lady came up, this lady trophy wife came up to speak to me. So they had been found, but this case, Kiely Rodni, she's not been found yet, and she's been missing, I think, is it about 13 days now?
Today's 14. Yeah.
14 days.
Yes. Yes. Hey,
I
I
mean,
don't want to
God
keep
knows what a mum.
get on to your next case if you want, but I wanted to talk about those TikToks because that's like a weird like initiation, domination, control. I mean, we used to tell girls, all right, lay down on the ground, and they'd have to lay down in the school parking lot, nasty and shit, and we'd be like, fry like bacon, and they'd have to flop around and fry like bacon and get themselves dirty. We'd squirt ketchup and mustard on them, but that was the initiation. I think that was the initiation for them coming or being a freshman. And I think what's going on here is Sammy is the party coordinator, and yeah, I just think that she picked on her, and maybe something happened, and she overdosed her, or maybe if they were fighting boxing, maybe she slipped and broke her neck, or you know what I mean, like there's so many possibilities. There's so many
Mm.
possibilities, but I
I
keep
never thought about it like that, like an initiation thing.
yeah, it's almost like a hazing
Yeah,
at yeah.
because that happens, doesn't it? Quite often.
Yeah. Yep.
Mm. And didn't they? I mean, don't they sometimes make them get in the water and swim after they're drunk and things like that as well?
I have heard of that. Yes, I have heard of that.
Mm.
Or just shoving beers down her throat would kill her. I mean, you'd end up waterboarding a kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just somebody holding her over and forcing her to drink or drink the vodka or whatever. Something stupid, but I'm afraid
Something
something
stupid
like
that
that. Yeah.
without, yeah. Yeah, giving me something to think about there.
Yeah. All
Definitely.
right. I love you so.
Oh, thank you for coming
My
up. It's
favorite,
lovely
my
too.
favorite paramedic that that drinks wine and eats chocolate when she gets done working.
Oh,
I
thank
love you,
you.
Anne. Go on with
I
the
love you
show.
too.
I'll talk to you soon. Thanks.
Talk to you soon. Bye. 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 Oh, that was nice. So the next case we've got, and I have taken the photographs down, which isn't good. But I don't know if you've heard of Janette Pantoja and Juan Almanza Zavala. So she's 29, he's 36, they're exes, and they were coming back from the hot August nights in Reno. And this caused controversy because it happened at literally the same time as Kiely going missing. So lots of people were kind of thinking, oh my God, 2 more people have gone missing, like literally the same night. Are they, is the same person that's got one of them got the others, and it's like, there was so much controversy over it. And people talking about it on Facebook. This was, let me get up my information here. So they said that the California man and woman who went missing on the same day and same area in Lake Tahoe as Kiely Rodni were found dead in an embankment on Wednesday. Janette, or JJ, 29, and the ex-boyfriend, they're just friends now, 36, Juan, 36, were discovered near their car, which was logged down a Nevada country embankment. And the family were alerted shortly after the 6th August disappearance because her phone last pinged in the area where the car and the bodies were found 11 days later. So they got the ping, but it took 11 days to be able to find them. Apparently it wasn't where you could see, it was down an embankment, so you had to literally search. And the sister expressed her disappointment with law enforcement. She was saying that there was a large-scale investigation for Kiely compared to the lack of communication and that she received from detectives. And whenever she rang to kind of, find out what was going on with the case, they kind of said to her, look, we can't keep calling you every day, which is so sad when you've got a missing relative and then you've got law enforcement saying that to you. So this is the car and it looks almost crushed. Like, well, it is crushed. Like, I mean, if that's the front window there, and I'm guessing they were both in the front, I can't see how anybody could have possibly survived that. Kitty cat, stop purring next to me. It's very, very distracting. So they had been in this blue 2002 Ford Explorer, and they'd been to this car show, which is quite popular, this Reno August nights, summer nights, or whatever it is in Reno. And they were on their way back. Whether they'd been drinking, who knows? And apparently the police were going to send this aerial search out, but they never did. And the sister was upset about that. Just get the chat back up. So it just makes you wonder, like, did they get a flat? Like, did they get a flat tire while they were out there? Or, were they tired? Was there like a blowout or drink, or were they on their phone? What happened? Because this guy, I mean, if he'd been driving, Juan, he's 36. I'm sure it's not the first time he's ever driven. And, Jeanette was 29. if she'd been driving, it's not like the first time around the block, like they've driven before, I'm guessing, unless they'd been drinking or they'd just gone off the road. I mean, I don't know what the weather was like that night. Maybe it was wet, slippy. Yeah, there shouldn't be any black ice if it was like you know, a summer day. And so the family said, you know, the police were quite rude with them, which they said, you know, at the end of the day, we're upset enough with everything that's going on, and then on top of that, we've got them being rude to us. So that's what she was saying, and so Janette, who went missing and was found in the car, her current boyfriend received a notification in the middle of the night when her phone stopped sharing her location. So then he was concerned, why is she's out with her ex-boyfriend, her phone stopped sharing location, like what's going on? And then obviously on top of that, when she didn't return home, but they did find them. And the family said, you know, there's been like at the time there was like nearly 18,000 personal hours, combined hours in the search for Kiely, but yet they didn't get the same. They didn't feel that they got the same treatment for their loved one, which is really sad. But I don't suppose they expected to have two quite big, you know, missing persons cases in at one time. Still. Okay. I'm just gonna bring my photos back up. Okay, so I just wanted to draw your attention to this lady. Detectives, this lady went missing. So she's 27. Wait a minute, let me get the. So family were deeply concerned about their relative who'd gone missing. She was a nurse and she'd gone missing. Let's see if I can. And she'd been seen on Clarendon Road at 7 o'clock. Oh, why do they do that? It's so annoying. Why is it when you get the information up on the internet, they update it so you can't get the information that you had before? Mm. So basically, this lady went missing. She was seen in London, um, and there has been some arrests now. Um, they haven't found a body, but there has been 5 arrests for kidnapping and suspected murder. She had been an A&E nurse, worked all the way through the COVID pandemic. Her name was Awami Davis. She'd been seen crossing a road with a man, whether she'd been to a pub, and that was Derby Road in Croydon. So that's the UK. But 4 to 5 men now, they reckon, have been arrested. I would have like read it out to you, but they've updated it, and now I'll be reading you the latter part of it, which is pointless because you wouldn't understand the whole story unless I started from the beginning. So that was a bit pointless. Wait a second. And then this I found interesting as well. She's a really beautiful girl. it's really difficult to be organized on this StreamYard, honestly. Um, so apparently this was as of when was this posted? They were saying that so this was the other day, and they were saying that the FBI says more than 200 human trafficking victims and missing people, 121 of which were children, were found by law enforcement in a nationwide operation called Operation Cross Country. More than 200 state, local, and federal agencies, as well as National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, conducted the 2-week search with 391 operations done. And the FBI said in a news release Monday that the goal of the operation is to gather intelligence, build criminal cases against traffickers, and offer victims assistance. In total, 141 adult victims and 84 minor victims, and 37 missing children were located. Wouldn't that be great if Summer Wells was one of them? Wouldn't it? Just wouldn't it? The average age of the children was around 15, but the youngest, it says the youngest was 11. In addition to the location of the victims, 85 suspects of child exploitation and human trafficking were identified and arrested. What in the world? Honestly, sometimes I just think, what is our world coming to? I really do. And then this one, this is even worse. Well, how can anything be worse than that? But feels like it. Let me get this one up for you. Okay, so this lady, so pretty, a 5-month pregnant Lebanese woman with full burns is fighting a bleak battle for survival after her husband set fire to her because she refused to have an abortion. Hannah Mohammed Kodar, 21, was rushed into hospital in a critical condition after her husband, identified as AA, set her ablaze with a gas canister. Oh my God. A doctor said that they had to operate to remove the fetus after it died, and the mother's chances of survival are very bleak. The horrific attack is alleged to have started with this guy's viciously beating the young pregnant wife. Then she told him she wanted to keep their baby due in December. So I mean, we're talking like it's not just right at the very beginning. I mean, we're not going to get into whether we agree or not agree on abortion, but um I mean, this baby was due to be born in a couple of months. So where he thought he was going to get an abortion from, um, unless it was some crazy backstreet place, which sounds really, really barbaric. Um, and the doctor, and apparently they'd had this argument, which had stemmed from the financial burden that the child would have put on the family, with the couple reportedly coming from poor upbringings in the north of the country. A doctor from Al Salam Hospital told the Arab News that she was admitted on the 6th of August suffering from 100% burns. So, I mean, it's very unlikely that she's going to survive 100% burns. I don't think I've ever heard of anybody suffering 100% burns, and I'm surprised she's still alive. The pain must be absolutely horrendous. Um, May says, Emma, Don B just mentioned a guy has put on social media that he has Kiely in his room. Sick, if not true. Oh my God, there really are some crazy people out there. Like, honestly. There was somebody on Facebook the other day coming out with silly things like that. It wasn't about having her, but it was kind of, it was bad what he was saying, and I think he was doing it just to get a reaction from all these people, but let's hope that that's not the case. She was 5 months pregnant when this incident happened. The baby died, and we had to operate on her to remove it. She's reported to have 3rd-degree burns all over her body and is on life support. The doctors have kindly agreed to waive their medical fees for the family, who would have had to pay. They're still facing costs of $400, excluding treatments, operations, and reconstructive surgeries. Oh my God, it's just, it would have cost them thousands of dollars. She apparently needs blood platelets, as in transfusions, daily, aside from the costs of the hospital bed, medical equipment, ICU treatment. I mean, he needs the death penalty for that, surely, guys. She's on life support, gets resuscitated daily. Her situation is extremely critical due to the severity of the huge areas of her body that have been burnt. Anyway, we won't go into any more of that because it doesn't get any better the more I read. But if you do want to look this woman up, she's Lebanese and she's called Hana Mohammed Kodor. It's just awful. Awful, awful, awful. There's some terrible people in this world. There really is. Next on the docket are these two lovely people. Yeah, it's terrible. It's heartbreaking. Every case we cover, really. I mean, I think the only way I manage to cover these crimes is because of the job I do. I think I'm hardened to a lot of things. I mean, we walk into murders and things all the time, and I just like, yeah, next. And it's not that I don't have any, because if I actually sit down and think about it, I do have remorse for these families, but I am able to block a lot of it out in order to move on to the next job, if you know what I mean. Let me take these headphones off, seeing as I'm not talking to anyone at the minute. Oh, that's better. So what's going to happen with these two? As we know, if any of us right now go on Google and we tap in Summer Wells, there's going to be absolutely no new updates. No new updates at all. Nothing. Nada. Zilch. And it's frustrating. It's upsetting for all of us that have followed this case from the beginning. And we still want to know where Summer is. Where is she? Who has her? Or what did they do to her? And I could try and pull something in order to make a video on Summer Wells every day, but there's nothing new to say. And unless one of them says something that we can look at and examine, it's hard. We want to keep her name out there. We want to keep her name in light so that people still remember who she is. But there's limited as to what we can say. Joe, yeah, there was a couple that died that were found in the car. The case I just covered, the lady that was covered in bandages, that was a lady that had been set fire to, unfortunately. But yeah, it's infuriating. Crime with Sunshine says it's infuriating that we still have nobody held accountable for a baby that could not help herself or be her own voice. Yeah. I mean, let's hope that when Don comes out, I mean, I know none of us particularly like the guy. And to be honest with you, a lot of us don't even believe half of the things he says. But let's hope he does come back onto YouTube, because at least by doing so, it's keeping Summer in the forefront. It's keeping us talking about her. By doing that, it's keeping pressure on law enforcement to carry on investigating. And, you know, maybe there might be something that Don slips up on or says that we might be able to, you know, look at and try and I don't know. I mean, they've apparently searched their land however many times, according to them. Although when somebody offered to go up there with dogs and all the gear and properly search their land, she didn't want it. Kind of said no. I know Jonathan Lee Riches is going over there now. I think he's in Wisconsin at the minute, and he's making his way back over, doing some more searches for Summer. So if you've not subscribed to his channel and you want to go across to him and watch, keep an eye out, because he is going to be doing some more interviews and searches and things. But other than that, that's about all I've got for you tonight. I thought I'd come on and do a live and catch up with you all. Roger Rabbit says, I've donated $85 so far today. What have you donated $85 for, Roger Rabbit? For the Summer Wells or for the Kiely Rodni case? Donnie's moving to Utah when he gets out or being incarcerated, and probably will be going back if charged. So you think even if he doesn't go straight to Utah to jail, you think that maybe he'll be going back over there to live? What, to be like closer to his dad? I mean, you don't think that she'll be waiting for him when he comes out? Oh, and then just to add extra gore, trigger warning, into tonight's case, I uploaded this earlier on. Okay. Oh, Mayflower, thank you, sweetheart. That's really kind of you. Thank you so much for your super sticker. So I uploaded this earlier. I just couldn't believe it was on the news, guys. And I was like, are you serious right now? Like, what? Does this really happen? So this guy's head's cut off. But if you actually to see his full head, he has like these studs sticking out of the top of his head, which makes him look even weirder. And he's had like ink put into the whites of his eye to make him look even more crazy. It says here, 40-year-old Jeremy Lee Pauley from Pennsylvania has been charged after he purchased stolen human remains from an Arkansas woman on Facebook. Does this really happen? The woman was a mortuary assistant who stole the remains that were supposedly destined to be donated to science. So they were supposedly chopped off. They were going to be donated to science. And this mortuary assistant was sending them in the post to this stupid Jeremy guy, because he described himself as a collector of oddities, including human body parts and remains. He said that they were acquired legally. Oh yeah, sounds it. Yeah, because you can often just go on Amazon and order an arm and a scapula, can't you? God. Anyway, police initially described, let me just get this super stick off the screen a second, and then I can see the rest of it. Police initially found what they described as older human remains, including full skeletons. I mean, how did he get that? You know, how did he send that? How did she send a full skeleton in the post? And, that they determined were legally, however full, what's this? Human remains that were determined were legally obtained, or legally obtained. How is it legal to buy a full human skeleton? However, after a second tip about newer remains in Paulie's homes, investigators returned to the house to find more recent purchases. Makes it sound like he's gone on and bought himself a new, like, you know, when it says purchase, more recent purchases, it makes it sound like he's just gone on and bought himself like a new computer or something, or a new iPad. Found 3 5-gallon buckets containing assorted body parts. Oh, I mean, really? I mean, you just, when you think you've heard it all, and then you realize you haven't at all. I mean, what would make you sit there and think, do you know what? I really need a human leg. I'm just going to see if somebody can send me one through the post. Completely crazy man. Complete sicko. Yeah, you're right. Ugh. Anyway. I thought I was just searching through because I tapped in missing earlier and I was looking to see who was missing. And when I saw that, I was like, are you serious? Let me see if there's anything else I've missed that I was going to show you. So that was another one of Jagger's posts about the girl that he loves. I want to hug her again. Blah, blah, blah. Let's see what this one is. Oh, yeah. So somebody says to the sheriff's office, why haven't you all looked into this Sammy in capitals yet? Unbelievable. So then somebody else says, how do you know they haven't? Placer County Sheriff's Office likes the comment, and so does Meg's, her friend Meg's. So what's Meg's basically saying? They have looked into Sammy. What do you reckon, guys? Meg's is liking a comment that's saying, how do you know they haven't looked into Sammy? Interesting. What's this? It's so difficult to be organized with StreamYard, honestly, because you go to upload it and it all uploads in like in wrong order and everything. What's this? Oh, it's just a bit about Sammy and Kiely, and Sammy was saying, Kiely and I were pretty much together all night, drinking shots, etc. Yeah, we've heard. Whether we believe you is a different story, but we've heard. Is Fizzle in the chat? Oh, we've got John Davies as well. What do you guys think about this Sammy then? I don't believe a word she says. I think she's far too confident. She's not showing any emotion. She's making out she's friends with this girl, but apparently she's not really friends with this girl. And I just can't watch her. She's too much. You know, certain people are just too much. Rocket Queen, you are funny. Oh, here we go. We're getting spammed by adult dating sites because, of course, while we're talking about a missing persons case, we all want to log on to a dating site, don't we? Because that's like the first thing on our mind. Yeah, red flag Sammy. Fizzle says she looks like... wait a minute. Elizabeth Olsen. Why am I still seeing these dating site things? So does anybody want to join me on panel before I go? Because I'm literally about to close down the stream. If anybody wants to talk about anything about the case, anything that we've covered tonight, I'll put the link in the description. And then, if not, I'll go to bed. Let me read your comments. Always on a Friday. Roger Rabbit, I will talk to you. YouTube is going where? Fumes? What do you mean? YouTube is going where? No worries. John Davies, it was good the other day. I was on John's channel the other day. It was quite good. I think it was Wednesday, wasn't it? Fizzle, I'm trying to get my headache to go. Oh, you don't want to be listening to my voice then if you're trying to get rid of your headache. That's no good. So let me see a ray of hands for people who will be tuning in for Jodie Sue Brown later. I bet you're all anxiously setting your reminders, aren't you? I should have added a little giggle at the end of that, shouldn't I? So I have put the link there in the description. Nobody's clicking on it, so I might be saying goodbye. But thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for listening. Thank you for supporting the channel. Thank you for the super chat. And thank you for sitting through me twittering on for the last, how long we've been on? 1 hour 44 minutes, is that? That's ages. I wish I had more for you on the Summer Wells case, guys. I really do. But I just can't sit here and just waffle on about stuff that has happened before, that we've covered before, because it's not fair to you. It's wasting your time, and it's just not telling us anything else. There's nothing new to talk about in regards to Summer right now. But thank you for tuning in, and all of you have a great weekend. And I'll see you soon. Okay, guys. See you soon, guys. Bye. Bye.